Step by step on business. That's on my mama, watch me spin on me and split, now I can't feel it. We in the trap, we sold the city on my biddy. Take these diamonds off and show you how we lit it.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Before the Horn podcast. I'm your host, Dino. It's been a long time coming, man. But hosted with me, I got my boy, Lil.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Talk to me.
Yes, sir. And I got my boy, Day.
What's good? What's good?
Y'all already know exactly what's going on, man. I'm happy to see y'all. I'm happy to be back on here with my boys. Y'all know we got life going on. Things happen. But we here. We got 5 topics for y'all today, man. 5. First one we're gonna talk about the Boston Celtics. As you can see, you've been watching basketball, man. They've been on a rampage lately. Ever since this All-Star break, they've been going crazy. We're gonna touch base on that. Going right off of that, there's some contenders and there's some pretenders. And that's gonna be our second topic. Our second topic, we're gonna be talking about the Eastern Conference today on our contenders and our pretenders. Into 3, there's 2 people right now in the sports world that's been going crazy, breaking records, untouchable records. 2 of the names off rip is LeBron. Y'all already know that. And Caitlin Clark. They both have been breaking records, crazy, untouchable records. We're going to talk about who we think is more untouchable and unbreakable records, one of those 2. Then moving into the NFL, we're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on there. Y'all know free agency. It's been trade talks. There's been the combine. We're going into our 4th topic. Free agency and the trade talks has been crazy. We're going to go over a couple names. I got some names written down I want to talk about. We're going to go over those. We're going to talk about if they're going to be a keep or a let go. So we got to talk about that one. Then our 5th topic, if y'all seen the combine just passed, a lot of crazy performances, a lot of good ones. We're going to break down our top 3 players that we think had the best performance in the combine. But bring us our first one, Dave.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it. Episode 49. Like Dino said in the intro, the Boston Celtics have been rolling. Currently, they have the best record in the NBA at 44-12. We've talked about them previously on this platform, but we're going to talk about them again. This year so far, they've had 3 50-plus blowout wins this season alone. That is the most in NBA history so far. My question to you guys is, can the Boston Celtics continue to dominate throughout the playoffs?
Yes. I mean, I picked them to win it all. That at the end of the day, like, that's where they're at. The regular season don't matter. They're not one of those teams that can be regular season warriors, kind of like, you know, the Thunder or the Timberwolves right now. They kind of battled it out for that first seed in the West. You know, if those teams don't make it far in the postseason, the season is not a failure because they could build on it to the next season. For the Boston Celtics team, on the other hand, it's championship or bust. That's where they at. It's championship or bust. The number 1 seed honestly does not really matter to me at this point. They're playing the best basketball in the NBA. Don't get me wrong, team basketball.
Right.
But like, if you want to mention like the last 50 point, like how do you leave the second best player on the team open to shoot? Like why was that ever the game plan?
So disrespectful.
Say, hey, we're going to sag off a guy that's getting paid $300 million. We're going to sag off
he was all NBA last year. Like, okay, let's slag off
NBA.
it.
Biggest contract in the NBA, and that's the guy that we're going to choose to shag off. And he goes from 19 in the first quarter, and, you know, that's all she wrote after there. But, you know, this team is well balanced when you look at, you know, on the wings, you got JB and JT, you know, 2 of the better two-way players in the league. You got Kristaps Porzingis, another good two-way player. You got Al Horford, who just knows how to play winning basketball. Derek White and Drew Holiday, two guards who can defend and play offense. So like they have a well-rounded team when you look at the top of their roster. So they could compete with the best. Like I said, like it's either championship or bust. There's no in between. Like, yes, they got the number 1 seed, but that doesn't matter at the end of the day. They have to win the ring. That's where they at. That's where they have to be, and that's the only standard that there is. And I think they could carry that in to the postseason.
My whole thing about the Boston Celtics is they're playing great basketball. Don't get me wrong, they're playing great basketball. The roster's stacked. They got some great things going on there in Boston. My only thing is they've done this multiple years, though. After All-Star break, they always come out hot. They haven't lost since February 1st. Like, they're on a super hot streak. Like we said, starting this the most in NBA history, 50-plus blowout wins, 3 in 1 year is the most in NBA history. Don't get me wrong, that's great basketball, it is. But like I just said, we've seen this multiple years. We've seen this last year. Like, they've come out after All-Star break and they're looking on fire. Now, don't get me wrong. Do I feel like they could bring this into postseason? Yeah, but can y'all sustain it through the postseason? That's my biggest thing. Like, they got to sustain this into the postseason. I think they could go out there, especially since they're the top seed right now, and it look like they're going to hold on to that. I think they could go out there and sweep their first round. Completely sweep them. Yeah, because they're hot right now. They're looking great. But at the end of the day, can y'all keep this going? Can y'all sustain this? How long is JT's battery going to be? How long is JB's battery going to be? We know Drew Holiday going to play defense all the way through. I mean, it's certain people, bro. Porzingis hasn't been there before. We don't know what he's going to do. Like, it's a couple question marks, but at the same time, I really do feel like they've been playing the best basketball in the league right now, and it's been showing. So, yeah, they can carry this in there, but sustaining it is my biggest question.
I'm kind of in the middle between both of you guys, honestly. Like, I see what Khalil is saying, and I see what Dennis is saying. My big thing on the Boston Celtics has definitely been their consistency and their sustainability, just like Dennis just said. We've seen this before. Not as good as this, but we've seen levels like it. We've seen a couple notches below this. They just can't finish when it matters, and that's my fear with the Boston Celtics. I'm a Celtics fan. Yes, I'm wearing a Lakers jersey. I just love LeBron James because we're going to talk about LeBron James later, but I'm a big-time Celtics fan. And it's so infuriating to see how they just collapse when it matters. We've seen it last year against Miami. They went down 3-0 against Miami. That was crazy. The previous round before that, they were struggling with the Philadelphia 76ers. They went down 3-2, but James Harden and Joel Embiid choked. Then in the first round, the Atlanta Hawks gave them fits. The Hawks took them to 6. And the Hawks were a playing team. Miami was a playing team last year as well. I feel like Boston this year, like Khalil said, it's ring or bust. Yes, you're right, Dennis. Porzingis has never made it this far. We've seen Drew Holiday make it this far. Derek White, he plays great defense as well. He was all NBA defense. So is Drew Holiday. You got 2 of the best defending guards in the NBA. You got Al Horford. I know you guys hate when he shoots the ball, but Al Horford can shoot for a power forward.
It's
He
just
can shoot
cringy,
decently
dog.
well.
I don't
It is
hate
cringy.
It's just
it
cringy.
goes in. It goes in.
It
And like
does.
Khalil said, you got the J&J firm. So, yes, I agree with both of you guys. I'm right in the middle. Yes, they're great. They can go out there and run it all the way to the finals. They got to get a ring. It's ring or bust. Also, can they sustain the level of play? So I'm right in between both of you guys. Pause.
Here's the thing. And when we talk about this team, they got experience. JB and JT, they made it to the finals. Al Horford has been in this league for a while. He's been to finals. He's been to conference finals. He's done it all. Yeah. Drew Holiday has a ring. So you have the veteran presence. You have guys like Derek White who can step up in the big moments. Even a Peyton Pritchard is another sneaky guy who can hit big shots for you. Like, you have these guys that can be your Bruce Brown or your Christian Brown, if you want to talk about the reigning champions from last year. And remember what the Denver Nuggets did, and we've seen those other guys who stepped up, the Christian Browns, the Bruce Browns. They have those players in Derek White and Peyton Pritchard. I already mentioned Drew Holiday and all that. Plus you're big too. And then you added Porzingis, who adds a lot. He's averaging 20 a game. He can go off for 30 any given time. So the best thing about this team as well, there's shooters all over the floor. You don't have a Robert Williams who's clogging up the paint, who's pretty much ineffective if he's not 5 feet from the basket. You have a guy in Kristaps Porzingis who's 7'2", who can step away from the basket and still score, and a guy in Drew Holiday, what they've been missing in that point guard position, a true point guard that can get Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum to their spots so they can score, so they don't have to go one-on-one ISO ball. And that was one of their biggest issues last year. It was too much one-on-one ISO ball. And you got a guy now that could get you in your spots and do that. So that's the biggest difference for me. Yeah, I get that you say we've seen, Boston, do this and make it this far. But this is not the same Boston team. It's not the same makeup, when you add a Porzingis and Drew Holiday. It's not like Marcus Smart still out there pooping as the point guard,
That's a fact.
Yeah. No, you got some good points, but I just gotta see it be sustained, bro. Like I said, some of their key players ain't been there. Porzingis is one of them. Like you say, he's averaging 20. He's one of their key players. Without him, a lot of these 50-point wins wouldn't that happen. I'm
gonna be honest. If Porzingis would have a bad night, I feel like he'd still be okay. Just because
they're still gonna be okay for sure. They're still gonna be okay in the regular season.
No, even in the postseason.
think
He's
they'll
not
be
gonna
fine,
be okay
personally.
against Milwaukee.
Nah,
If that happens, that's not gonna be okay.
You
It's
trust
not.
Doc? You trust
They
Doc
can-
Rivers? You trust Doc Rivers?
I'm gonna say they could beat the Bucks with Doc Rivers at home. I'm sorry. I'm taking Boston. I'm sorry.
In the
You trust
playoffs, I
Doc
guess so.
Rivers?
Yeah, in the playoffs, yeah.
I don't like Joe Mazzulla either, but I damn sure not trust Doc
I'll take
Rivers.
him over Doc Rivers right now.
Yeah, I would too. I do.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for that topic. Let us know in your opinion what y'all think the Boston Celtics are going to do come playoff time. Are they going to sink or swim? You guys think they can make it to the finals? You guys think they're going to flop like they did in the past? Also, what do you think the Boston Celtics' biggest weakness is? We want to hear all that in the comment section below. All right, moving into the next topic, sticking with the NBA. We're going to do our segment, Contenders or Pretenders, like we did in episode 48, this time with the Eastern Conference. Last time we did the West. So like last time, it's going to be a round robin, us three. I'm going to list the top 10 teams in the Eastern Conference at this moment, as the season stands right now. We're going to say whether they're contenders or pretenders and give a short reason why. Obviously, we all think the Boston Celtics are contenders. Let's just move on to the number 2 seed. The Milwaukee Bucks, led by Giannis Antetokounmpo and Dame Lillard. Are they contenders or pretenders?
Contenders. I feel like no, we don't trust Doc Rivers. No, we do not trust Doc Rivers. We don't. But if there's gonna be somebody that's gonna be close to the Celtics, I guess it's gonna be Milwaukee. So it got to be somebody else that's gonna be able to contend.
I'm gonna go contenders for the Bucks. When we talk about they're 5-0 since the All-Star break, so they're starting to get rolling a little bit. We're gonna see what the final score to the game is against the Clippers. Right now, the Clippers are up, but the only big win they have, quote unquote, big win is against the Timberwolves. I'm not too big of a fan of the Timberwolves. I already told you I don't really think they're contenders, but that's the only big win at this point since the All-Star break. With the tandem of Giannis and Damian Lillard, they're definitely contenders. When you look at Giannis, he's averaging 30 and 11, close to 31 and 11, not to mention. So for sure, they're contenders when you put them two together, and they have a full roster. You talk about Bobby Portis, Brooke Lopez, Malik Beasley, Jay Crowder, all those guys. Yeah, I definitely do think they're contenders.
Roster-wise, yeah. I'll say roster-wise.
On paper, they're contenders, but with play, they're also contenders. My thing is with the Milwaukee Bucks, like we talked about in the past, before All-Star break, there was a lot of concerns. Now, like Khalil mentioned, they are 5-0 after the All-Star break. Can they keep it going into the playoffs? I believe so. But if they have to see Boston in the second round, probably even in the conference finals, I think that's our ideal conference finals matchup right now. Boston and the Milwaukee Bucks. Yes, they are pretenders, but when they run into the Celtics, I just see it all coming to an end. All right, let's move on to the third seed, the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by Donnie Mitchell.
Pretenders. It was the look down and the side eye, like man. To be honest, I really just don't see it with Cleveland. I don't see it with Cleveland. I don't feel like on paper they're even contenders. I'm gonna be honest with you. But they're playing good basketball. I'm not gonna take that away from them. They're playing good basketball, but I don't think that they really have it to go that far. I just don't see it, bro. I don't see them really being too much of a threat. Like when we talk about threats, we think about threats to who all three of us think is a contender right now, and that's the top seed. And I don't think Cleveland is a threat to them at all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see Cleveland really rumbling with them too much. But then again, they still got Don Mitch, and I got a lot of trust in it. I got a lot of stock in Don Mitch, but
I got them as pretenders. Don't get me wrong; they are the second best team defensively when you talk about points per game. They're giving up the second least amount of points in the NBA. But you do have Donovan Mitchell. You do have two guys that's averaging a double-double in Mosley and Jared Allen. I think they could give teams problems. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think they have enough, as a total basketball team, to beat the Bostons or the Milwaukee or teams like that. So I'm gonna have to go pretenders respectfully. They are a solid team. I don't think it's going to be an easy out, for one of those matchups, but I don't think they beat that matchup.
I'm with Khalil. I think they're pretenders for sure. I'm not going to say 100% pretenders. Last year, they were pretenders. They were a pretty high seed in the East last year, and they got bumped out by the low seed Knicks in the first round. They got gentlemen swept by New York in the first round last year. This year, I don't think that's going to happen. I see them as a second round exit. But I think, just like Khalil said, I think they don't have enough. They need more than Donnie Mitchell, Jared Allen. they had Evan Mobley and Darius Garland, but I just need to see more. For some reason, I don't know. I can't wrap my finger around it, but I don't see them as a threat, just like Dennis said as well. So I'm gonna say pretenders for the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, 4th seed, the New York Knicks.
Contenders. Yes, I'm gonna say contenders.
Of course you are. You biased.
It might be a little biased.
Biased.
Very
It might,
biased.
It is
it might,
very
it might be a little biased. It's a little biased.
No, it's a
Just
lot
a little
biased.
bit.
Okay, let's hear your reason. Let's hear your reason.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
All right, so yeah, all right. So the last couple games, yeah, they haven't been. They're 3-3 since the All-Star break. All right, cool. They're 3-3. We know Jalen Brunson was hurt a couple games. They still got out the dub without Jalen Brunson, but we talked about this before, Dave. Jalen Brunson was definitely snubbed. He's been playing some of the best basketball in the league right now, bro.
Yeah,
like, gotta put respect on his name. He's got it. I'm not gonna say he's been carrying the team on the back, but if you look at like some of the other inconsistent play they got from other players, and they're still able to compete the way they've been competing, as long as they could get a lot of the other players consistent, they got some playmakers there, bro. They do. So I'm not hearing nothing. I don't want to hear none of that. Word.
This is a team that's 3-7 in their last 10. Like you mentioned, they're 3-3 since the All-Star break. But I'm gonna go pretenders. I don't think they have enough. I'm sorry. I don't think Jalen Brunson can be your number one option and carry you to a championship. It's not many small guards that can do that. Steph Belly did it, if you want to be honest. But when you look at the other pieces around, your number 2 star is Julius Randle. We seen what we get from him every single playoff series. Every time he's a no-show. He at the moments always get too big. I'm not putting too much stock into Julius Randle. Please give me a break on that one.
Give me a break.
They've been playing better with OG and Nobi. They got some good guards. When you talk about all those Villanova boys, you got Archie Diacono, Josh Hart. You got what's the other one? Dante DiVincenzo, who's been balling. But I said, bro, I just don't think giving star power like Jalen Brunson being a 6-foot guard and Julius Randle being your number 2 option, you can miss me with that. I don't think they can get it done.
Going pretenders as well, just off the fact that I'm not really the biggest fan of Julius Randle, and I don't see him as a number 2 on any team. I think he's one of the softest big men in the league besides DeAndre Ayton. That's me keeping it a buck. Last time I seen a great Julius Randle or a really good Julius Randle play was the 2020 or 2021 season.
He's softer than Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis is injury prone.
He's soft.
All right. Well, Julius Randle's right up there with him. Randle right up there with him. But yeah, I'm gonna go definitely pretenders for the New York Knicks. There's nothing much more for me to say other than that. Khalil already pretty much said everything. All right, moving on to the 5th seed, Philadelphia 76ers, who are currently without their 2022 MVP, Joel Embiid.
I'm gonna have to go pretenders, bro. Not only because they don't have Joel Embiid. We talked another thing we talked about day before was the fact that they got to be one of them teams that's gonna rally after the All-Star break to really actually make an impact to get into the playoffs. And I mean, again, this is another team that's 3-3 since the All-Star break. Just like the Knicks. So we can't really say nothing. I can't say nothing too bad on that part, but we've seen them fold multiple times. We think Embiid coming back from injury, he's likely done from the season. We said this before. He's likely done for the season. He's probably not coming back. So do we really think that he's going to come back and make the biggest impact ever after sitting and being hurt? Especially if he's planning on playing the minutes he usually plays. And he's going to have to. So I'm going to say pretenders, man.
I'm going to give them a slight contender. They're slightly contenders based as long as Joel Embiid come back and he can be what he was before the injury. He is back on court doing more on-court workouts, so I think he'll be back in the next month or so. Hopefully he's back in enough time to get, acclimated back to, NBA basketball, and he's not thrown right into the fire of like playoff basketball or anything like that. But when you look at his team with a Joel Embiid, he was on, he was playing better than he was his MVP season. He was averaging 35 and 11, dominating the game. Nobody could really do anything with him. You got Tyrese Maxey, who took a step up. You got Tobias Harris, who, streaky, hot or cold, given something night. But the move that they made at the trade deadline to get Buddy Hield, I think it's a big pickup. He could space the floor, he could hit the shot. He's one of the better 3-point shooters in his league. You got a Kelly Oubre, you got a campaign, you got a bunch of players that can hoop. Who's a veteran, who's been experienced. So I give him a slight contender, but it's all based on how healthy Joel Embiid is. But at the same time, this also is a team that has not made it to the conference final. We're under the trust the process era. So we gotta wait and see. But with Embiid, you gotta give it to him.
Kind of with Khalil, and I'm kind of with Dennis. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna say they're pretenders. I'm gonna say they're pretenders. Even with Joel Embiid, Philly, I'm tired of trusting the process. If I wasn't a Celtics fan, I would probably be a Sixers fan. But I'll be such a distraught, bitter fan because every year you trust the process and it just lets you down. We've seen it year after year after year. Also, Joel Embiid, who knows, like Den said, who knows who's going to come back. He has been getting more on-court activity since his injury. He's been acclimating himself back in, but can he be the same Joel Embiid he was prior to the injury? Because prior to the injury, he was doing better than he was in his MVP year. So let's see if he can continue it. But you mentioned the supporting cast they got, Khalil. They have a pretty good supporting cast. I just personally don't think it's enough to compete with the top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference. So I'm gonna say they're pretenders.
I'm gonna be honest. Orlando's playing some good basketball right now, so I'm gonna have to go with pretenders, bro. Only because Paulo can't put that on. He can't put it on his back in the playoffs. It's not gonna be able. It's not gonna happen like that. And that's all they really have. He's been really their all around player for them. Now they got Markel. We finished. They got Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs is. I don't even know where I rank him. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's hard for me to even rank him because he's another one of them inconsistent players. They got faults. Like the roster's not really the best. I'm gonna be honest with you. The roster's not really the best. It's not nothing that you're gonna look at and be scared of or anything. They have some players that's just producing right now that's looking good. They're playing some pretty good basketball. So, but I'm gonna have to go with pretenders, bro. I don't see them really gonna be able to stack up in the playoffs as much as these other players.
He's got a Christmas song playing his shit.
But yeah, like I was saying, bro, they have some impressive wins. They've been able to stack up with a lot of other teams that's in higher seeds than them. Like they beat the Knicks again, another team that I said was a contender. So they can play ball. They've been playing ball, but at the same time, like I said, bro, I don't see it from them deep in the playoffs. Like I don't know, I don't think so.
Wow, man, you're kind of disrespectful. I'm not gonna lie. But
How?
I'm gonna go pretenders as well.
I'm about to say what? Come on.
This is a very good team. They're growing. They're getting a lot better. You mentioned Paolo, who was a first-time All-Star. He's averaging 22. We're pretty much 23-7 right now. He's hooping, but we can't talk about the Magics without talking about Franz Wagner. Like he's not balling too.
I didn't say Franz Wagner. Yeah, Franz Wagner. Franz Wagner is number 2.
He's killing it.
He's a great number 2. He's a great number 2.
He's hooping.
But this is a team that's still a year away or so before they could take the next jump. I like what they got, what they building. Like you mentioned, Paulo, they got France, they got his brother Mo, you got Wendell Carter, who's kind of been out. Cole Anthony is a good player to have coming off the bench for you. You got a Gary Harris, who's a veteran player. Another one of their issues is they gotta stay healthy. They got a lot of players that miss a lot of games as well. So I think they're a year away, even though they have it rolling right now. They're 8-2 in their last 10. But respectfully, I'm gonna go pretenders just because of the age.
I'm gonna go pretenders as well. I feel like the team is still young, just like kind of we mentioned with the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Oklahoma City Thunder in episode 48. Good teams on the road right now. They have to get their feet wet and face actual good teams in the playoffs to get the feeling of how it is in the playoffs to get those experienced teams. Now, I'm not gonna say the Magic are trash. They definitely upgraded because the Magic, I thought they were gonna be a play-in team this year. I predicted that obviously. They're right above the play-in spot right now. They're above the Miami Heat, who's in 7th seed, who we're gonna talk about next. But I'm gonna say pretenders for now, but not on no disrespectful stuff. Like they have Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, Jalen Suggs. Like they're doing really good for a team that's in the 6th seed in the East. But it's gonna be very competitive. As of right now, if the season ended, they'll be facing the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think they give the Cavs fits. Let's move into the play-in teams right now. The 7th seed, Miami Heat.
I'm gonna definitely go Contenders with these guys. We've seen it multiple times in the playoffs. They just come to life. They've never really been an in-season team. Playoffs is just where they excel at. But I'm not about to take away just because like they're in the seat that they're in. I'm not gonna say that they just been playing terrible basketball. They've lost only one game since the All-Star break. So it shows second half of the season is just something that they do. Bam has been coming out to play. They got 3 players right now that's averaging over 20. Bam is averaging 20 and 10. So it's like when you could get that type of play, if they could just keep that rolling, them type of play from those 3 type players, you got Tyler Hero that's averaging 22. So if those 3 can stay healthy, if they could keep that play going into the playoffs and then have some of your other players, some of your Duncan Robinsons that's gonna go out there and actually, put in a couple buckets for you and play some defense for you. That's the biggest issue. I think defense has been something that has been pretty bad for them, to be honest with you. So if they could fix that issue going into playoffs, I feel like they are gonna be back at the contender rate that they've been the last couple of years when they get into the playoffs. So I'm not really sleeping on Miami. I feel like no team is gonna sleep on Miami, showing what they've been done.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Contenders. You got 20 players that's averaging. I mean, you got 3 players that's averaging over 20 points with Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, and Bam Adebayo. Bam is a double guy, all-star caliber guy. I like the trade that they did for Terry Rozier. That was a big pickup. A guy that can get his own shot, who could find his own shot. Duncan Robinson, a sniper from the 3. I like the young rookie Jaime Jaquez. He stepped up a lot this year. You got Josh Richardson. You got a lot of pieces, and this is a team. We've seen them turn it up late. They only lost 1 game since the All-Star break, and that was to the Denver Nuggets, respectfully. So this team turns it. They just hit another gear. Come playoff time, they step it up another gear. They've been in kryptonite for some of the best teams out there, the Bucks and the Celtics. So what 2 teams that we said are contenders. So if you're gonna put them as contenders, you got to put the Heat as contenders because they find a way to beat these teams at when they need to in the playoffs.
At home too.
Yeah,
Away, on their end.
Facts. Being a 17 in the East right now, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, we know the East isn't as stacked as the West is, but we know how Miami is in the playoffs. Like Khalil and Dennis said, in the regular season, it does not matter. But when the playoffs come, Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler and Bam, they turn it on. And you talk about Tyler Hero. He missed the playoffs all last year. He's definitely averaging over 20 a game. I'm happy to see him back on the court. And Jaquez as well. He's really great. They have shooters all over the court. It's so unpredictable who's going to go off one night and lead the team. It's very, very unpredictable. With that being said, Miami's one of those teams you have to worry about if you see them in playoffs. You have to worry about them. If they make it out of the play-in and they see your team first, second, or third round, you have a chance to get sent home. So, hey, with that being said, I think they're contenders. All right, moving to the 8th seed, Indiana Pacers.
With the Pacers, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give them a contenders. Just for honestly the same reason. One of the same reasons that we gave Miami the contenders is because they found a way to beat these top playing teams. They swept the Bucks and they went 1-1 with Boston, and I feel like that's something that you got to do. Those are the top 2 teams. You got to show that you can play against them, and they have. They have ballers. Tyrese Halliburton is a baller. They got ballers all up and down the court. Miles Turner is a baller. Pascal Siakam, whichever way I want to say his name. Siakam, same thing, dog. Like, I'm sorry if he sees this and I botched his name. Sorry, dog, but he's a baller too. So like I really do feel like they are actual contenders. I'm gonna give them contenders.
I'm gonna go pretenders, respectfully. I get it. They made it to the play-in finals and all that other stuff. But Tyrese Halliburton hasn't been 100% right since he came back from the injury. He's not doing what he was doing before the injury. You do have Pascal Siakam, who's averaging 20 and 7. Then you got a Miles Turner. Don't get me wrong, who's averaging 17. But I just don't see it. I'm sorry. I just don't think they could knock off the Bucks or the Celtics or, like we mentioned,
they swept the Bucks this year though.
Playoffs are a whole different.
I know.
Playoffs is a whole different ball game, bro.
Playoffs, I know.
I like I said,
I understand.
But I don't see it. I'm sorry. I don't think they have enough firepower when it comes to those 7-game series. I'm sorry. I don't think they're beating Milwaukee in a 7-game series.
Not at all. I'm with you, Khalil. I think they're pretenders, but it's not no disrespectful type of response, or it's not a disrespectful type of tag I'm gonna give them Indiana Pacers. I don't think the Pacers could take on any of the top 4 teams in the East Conference if the season ended today. They obviously had to win a play-in game to get in anyway, but I agree with you. Tyrese Halliburton, he hasn't been the same since that injury. He needs to kick it up. But Pascal Siakam is a big addition. I just don't think they can compete. If they can take a team to 7 games, which I don't think the Pacers could take that team to 7 games. Nah. But yeah, I'm gonna say pretenders, but it's not a disrespectful take. Moving on to the 9th seed, the Chicago Bulls.
Pretenders. Pretenders. Not gonna lie, bro. They have 0 impressive wins whatsoever. They beat up on all of the bad teams. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, you got some flashing names in Alonzo Ball, and you have you got a. I like Alex Caruso. I always did, but you know what I mean. Zach Levine's good, but come on, man. I'm gonna be honest. This team, they're not really gonna make too much noise if you ask me.
Huh? Oh, we talking about the Bulls?
I'm weak.
The team that lost to the Pistons? Come on, man. I don't even gotta say too much, man. They're pretenders. Levine's out for the season. They've never been right since they made
Zach
the trade.
Levine is out for the season.
They've never been right since they made the trade.
Yeah.
When they added not made the trade, but when they added DeRozan, when they added Lonzo Ball, this is not what it was meant to be. They were supposed to tear it down. They were supposed to tear it down at the trade deadline. That never happened. So I don't know. But come on, what are we talking about, bro? Pretenders, bro. I don't even know if they make it to the playoffs. Come on.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. They're not gonna make the playoffs. They're definitely gonna be a play-in team, but they're not gonna make the playoffs. They're definitely pretenders. Ever since Zach Levine's season ended, the team hasn't been right. And I agree with you, Khalil. Lonzo went down. They got DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan has been really solid for the team. It just hasn't meshed well together. Like with Vucevic, I thought he's gonna be on his way out as well. It just
All
hasn't been the
3
same.
of them were supposed to be on the way out.
Yeah, it just hasn't been the same with the team. The 9th seed is the best of Chicago Bulls probably going to see. With that being said, I got them as pretenders. Last but not least, the streaky Atlanta Hawks, 10th seed.
Yo, bro, this team is like forever the definition of mid. Like, I swear to God, this team is forever the definition of mid. No, they're not contenders. They are pretenders, my boy. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to discredit them for actually competing in the playoffs because they do rattle some teams when they play them in the playoffs, but they don't make it out. I'm going to be honest with you. And I don't see it happening. Pretenders.
What are we talking about, bro? This is another team that was supposed to tear it down. Talk about trading Trae Young. Talk about trading DeJounte Murray. This team is another team that's going to be rebuilding in a year or so. You know, you got Trae Young, who's averaging 26 and 10, but, you know, he leads the league in turnovers every single year. You got Clint Capella, DeJounte Murray, but this team is not a factor. Let's pretenders. I ain't even got to say too much.
Yeah, I'm with Khalil. I have no faith in Atlanta Hawks. Last time I had faith in the Hawks was the 2019 season when they knocked the Sixers out the second round and they went to the third round with Milwaukee. But I mean, Trae Young, I think he's one of the most hated players in the league. I mean, he's a really solid point guard. He's not a top 5 point guard, but he's a really solid point guard. But like Khalil said, he leads league in turnovers a lot. But he's also really good at passing the ball. He's really good at shooting the ball, but he's not consistent with it, in my opinion. Again, some days he's hot. Some days it's like, damn, Trae Young need to get up out of here. Like you said as well, there was trade talks with him, DeJounte Murray, Clint Capella. What can Atlanta do to get back on track? But as right now, they're pretenders, and they've been pretenders for a long time. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for that subject. Give us your thoughts and opinions about who you guys think are pretenders or contenders in the Eastern Conference. Let us know how you guys would rank them, or let us know how you guys would give them. Also, give us your thoughts and opinions about who you guys think the biggest threats are to the top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. All right, moving on to the third topic of the night. We're going to take about basketball. Let's talk about some records that have been broken over this past weekend. We saw Caitlin Clark. They call her Ponytail Pete because she passed Pistol Pete Maravich all-time NCAA scoring record, men's and women's for Division I. She has scored over 3,600 points in her career, and she did that with a big win over Ohio State to give Iowa the best record in the Big Ten Conference. Also on Saturday against the Denver Nuggets, LeBron James was the only player in NBA history to eclipse the 40,000 point mark. I got a question for you guys. Whose record is more untouchable? Caitlin Clark's NCAA record or LeBron James 40K points?
I would say Caitlin Kirk, if I'm being honest. I mean, when you look at what she's doing and what she's pretty much doing in college basketball right now, think about who she just passed. Pistol P. Think about how long it's been since he's been in college, let alone in the league and stuff like that. So, like, this is a record that's been standing for a good while. Don't get me wrong. LeBron, nobody's ever touched 40,000.
1967 to 1970. That's how long it's been.
Exactly. Don't get me wrong. Nobody's ever touched 40,000 points in the NBA. But when you talk about what Caitlin Clark is doing, like, one, I don't think there's not going to be another prolific guy that comes close to that record because they don't stay in college long enough. Be honest, they just really do not stay in college long enough. So from that standpoint, like, I just don't know who's going to be able to do it. It would have to be another female, maybe a Juju Watkins or, somebody later down the line. But I think it'd be a good while before, there's somebody that stays in college that's prolific as a scorer. It'd probably have to be a woman just because of the rules they have when you could go to the WNBA. That's going to be able to do it. As far as when you look at the NBA, one, these guys are coming in at 19 years old and they're playing longer. They're like, the science is there for, when it's time for these guys to get older, they've taken care of their body enough that they're going to still be playing later. Will they be playing like LeBron? I don't think it'd be a bunch of people. Like, not everybody's going to take care of their body at that level to be playing that long. But when you look at a lot of these guys, like, they've been pretty, like, a lot of these young guys, they've been pretty healthy. When you talk about, like, the Jason Tatums, the Lukas, the younger upcoming guys, not saying they touch, the record, but there's guys that I can see doing it, So from that standpoint, that's why I give it to Caitlin Clark over LeBron.
Not gonna lie. Just take my LeBron card at this point. I already said LeBron James was in top 3 in his position before the season started. I said LeBron James was in top 5 before the season started. But I do think LeBron's 40K points can be touched. I do think it is. I think it can be touched. Now, LeBron is the only player in NBA to have over 40,000 points. Very, very impressive. Not taking away anything from the king. Again, I think LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. Don't care. Argue with the wall. I got like 20 LeBron jerseys. Also argue with the wall. And 3 posters in my room. But that was TMI. Anyway, Caitlin Clark just broke a record that hasn't been broken in decades. Caitlin Clark has broken a record that hasn't been broken in decades. That is very insurmountable, but it's also very hard to do at the collegiate level. Caitlin Clark is one of the best shooters I've seen of all time, male or female, in college basketball. She's definitely going to be the outright number 1 pick. She's probably going to go to the Indiana Fever. They have the worst record in the WNBA. But with that being said, going over 3,000 points in a college span is very, very tough to do. But getting the way the offenses are in the NBA these days, I mean, I know LeBron did it for over 20 years. I know he has done it for over 20 years. But the way the offenses are set up in the NBA, it's so loose. It's so easy to score in the NBA right now. The NBA is so offensively. There's no defense. I think LeBron's 40K can be touched. I'm not disrespecting the king. I think Caitlin Clark's is harder. So I'm going to say Caitlin Clark record is more untouchable than LeBron James 40K points.
I'm ready with y'all guys. I'm right with you guys. Caitlin Clark, just because, I mean, like you said, Lil, like there's other people that can score around that much. I'm gonna be honest, it's untouchable, dog. It's untouchable. You saying you only got 4 years to do that. 5 if COVID hit again. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have 4 years to put up those points, dog. And she still has another year eligibility. So she can still keep going if she wanted to. Like, it's not over if she wanted to, even though she declared for the NBA draft, for the WNBA draft early, because she's that nasty that she did that early. But
be tough.
It's untouchable. That's not being touched. LeBron's, I'm not going to lie. I really, really wholeheartedly think all of his records will get broken. For a fact. All of his records will get broken. We're never going to see another LeBron again.
Yeah, we're not.
We're never going to see another LeBron again at all. But will his records get touched?
I think they can.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I think if somebody like Curry comes back around, if there's another, like another Curry or somebody that's going to be a shooter, crazy, and that's going to put up points like that, yeah. the all-around points, you brought up Jokic. Yeah, another player like Jokic, a player like Giannis. All it is it's really on longevity and like we touched on, keeping your body healthy. If those type of players keep their body healthy for that long and be as smart as LeBron was, they could definitely be touched. But saying that you only got 4 years to get 3,600 points is crazy. People take 3 years to get 1,000.
Well, this is my thing as well. Like, let's be real. LeBron average to get where he's at right now. LeBron's career average right now is over 27 points per game. For 21 years in the league, that is very tough. That's very, very tough. But I agree with you guys. 4 years get at least 3,700 points in a college career is really tough to do because college basketball is not as offensive as NBA basketball.
I'll be honest, when Caitlin's done, I think she's going to be somewhere close to like 4,000. If you want to really be honest, she's going to be really up there.
She got some time.
Yeah, bro. She still got a whole not a half a season. She got a whole month.
She got time.
You got the whole tournament. You know what she did last tournament, so we can see what we're going to get encore for this tournament. So you never know. They probably going to make a deep run.
And they lost in the Natty, so you know she coming back with some vengeance.
Facts. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give us y'all thoughts and opinions about that topic. Whose record is more untouchable in your opinion? LeBron James over 40,000 points or Caitlin Clark's over 3,700 points? We want to hear all that in the comment section below. Also, if you guys think LeBron's records can be touched, give us a player or a future player that you guys think can touch it. Also, give us a future college player, male or female, who you guys think can touch Caitlin Clark's NCAA Division I record for points. All right, moving on into the fourth topic of the night. We're going to transition over to the NFL. Our co-host Dennis is going to list some names that are either involved in trade talks or on the free agent market. He's going to say whether we think they should stay or go and give the reason why as well. So go ahead, Dino. You got this one, dog.
All right, boys. So I got about 25 names here. I'm not going to go over all 25 because that's a lot of names. But I'm going to go over some big ones and see what y'all think about them. See what y'all think the possibilities is and whether they should walk or stay where they at. First one I'm going to go is one of the biggest ones that's been talked about, Chris Jones for the Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs, as we're doing this podcast right now, they have tagged L'Jarius Sneed earlier today on March 4th. And they find a way to sneak Chris Jones into within their budget. The salary cap was just raised, so I think there's ways that they can do it. If it's any team that can do it, I can see the Kansas City Chiefs doing it. But he's going to cost a hefty penny. He arguably is the best at his position, which was stated by, quote-unquote, the truth teller during the preseason before the 2023 NFL season even started. But yes, you have to find a way to keep Chris Jones. It's going to be hard too, but I think he should stay.
No, yeah, for 100% sure he is going to stay. I believe it's just all about getting the numbers right. I think that's why, they tag Sneed and let Chris Jones, quote-unquote, hit free agency. Well, the reports out of Kansas City right now, they're pretty close to getting a deal. They just got to work out a couple more things. And that's the whole reason why, they tag Sneed, because what they're probably going to do is they're going to figure out what the number is going to be for Chris Jones and the language is to see if they could keep Sneed as well. But I think Chris Jones is going to be playing in Kansas City in the 2024 season.
I mean, I could agree with both of y'all. I'm going to be honest with you. But I'm going to honestly say let him walk for me, only because he's going to get he needs a hefty contract. Let's be real. Any contract he's going to get is going to be well over $25 million. It's going to be well over $25 million, which is $10 million more than what they have to give right now. I'm going to be honest with you. So should he stay? Would the best choice for them to do is to get him and let Sneed walk? Yes, that would be the best choice for them. But I'm going to say if he wants to get paid top dollar like he wants, he's going to have to walk.
He's ring chasing at this point, bro. He's in his young 30s.
He's 30. He's 30 years old right now.
Exactly. He wants to win more rings. I promise.
That's what I'm saying. He's 30, bro. You're about to pay a 30. You're gonna pay a 30-year-old a 30 what 26, 27, 28 $1 million contract for 4 or 5 years. 30 years old, bro.
100%. 100%.
At the rate that he's playing, yes. At the rate that he's playing, yes. But you're putting yourself over cap for that, bro.
No, they're good.
They'll do it.
Listen, the cap's not real, okay? The cap's not real.
It gets raised every year.
All right,
forget that.
It's raised every year.
Let's think about it for a second. Y'all just paid Jalen Hurts. What's his cap hit? Like 15, 20 million? and he quote unquote makes $50 million a year. The cap's not real. I don't want to hear it.
All right, let's move on.
You're right. Let's see. Next on this list, I got Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, in my opinion, top 10 quarterback. I think he's at the 9 or 10 range. Is he elite? No, his numbers are elite though. We've seen some frustration with the Vikings receivers, especially Justin Jefferson with Kirk at quarterback. Kirk definitely has fleeced the Vikings. No, he definitely fleeced the Vikings and Redskins in the past with being franchise tagged in Washington, and then Minnesota paid him. At one point, he had the best contract in the NFL. They thought he absolutely robbed the league. But right now, in my opinion, he's playing at a really great level. So Vikings have to find some way to keep him, unless you can move up and snag one of these quarterbacks in the first round of the draft. Even then, what if they don't turn out how Kirk Cousins can produce for you at the level right now? You know, he's in his 30s. So I'm going to say find a way to keep Kirk Cousins.
I think they should keep him as well. 2 to 3 year contract sounds about right. Even
That's
though he's
right.
coming off of Philly too, you know. But I think he's better than any other option that you got out there right now. And yeah, they could go out there and draft a rookie, but wouldn't it be more ideal to have a Kirk Cousins in the locker room, be able to mentor him, be able to let that rookie develop and not have to play, and then when it's ready, you can move him in there, and then you can move on from Kirk Cousins? Like, that sounds like more of an ideal situation. And then going out there and praying for the best, you know. Kind of let's do the transition like the Packers did. We just watched the Packers do it. Packers just gave y'all the blueprint. Chiefs gave y'all the blueprint as well with the Mahomes situation. The best ideal situation is to draft a quarterback. Let's sit him until he's ready to play, not have to feel the pressure to throw him in there. So I think they should keep him, in my opinion.
Right along with y'all, bro. I think they should keep him. I do still feel like his chemistry with that team is just there. I'm gonna be honest. I never really felt like he was the issue. Their defense was terrible, and we knew that. Coaching was never really the best. We know they had to make changes. So they're thinking about drafting another receiver too. So they're trying to bring another weapon into there. He has weapons. He got hurt. We know that his top receiver got hurt. Best receiver in the league, arguably. Like, come on. Like, it's not like he hasn't faced trials and tribulations while he's there. It was never a perfect season for him ever while he was there. It was always some type of hump that he had to get over. Not saying that doesn't happen to the best, because it does, but I really feel like he still deserves a chance there. And yeah, I agree with you, Lil. Go ahead and grab one of these steals in the draft at quarterback and let him sit. You know what I mean? Grab one of these steals, let him sit, let him learn a little bit, then throw him in the fire. Another one I got here is Danielle Hunter.
I think Danielle Hunter walks. This past year, he was arguably one of the top pass rushers in the league. His sack numbers were high. I think besides Khalil, none of us had him on his top 10. None of us had him on our top 10s going into 2023.
Besides the truth teller. I told you what to call me, man.
Whatever,
Call me the
whatever.
truth
You
teller.
also had Juwan Jennings in your top 10. Shut up.
You had Josh Sweat. Stop talking to me.
I'm not getting involved in this. I'm not getting involved in this. Leave me
Yeah,
out
you know
of it.
better. You know
Exactly. I had James Bradbury on mine. All pro JB. Anyway.
That's worse than all of them.
Shut up, man. Anyway, but I think Danielle Hunter definitely get big dollars somewhere else. Again, he's going into the season where he's hitting that peak of his career age-wise. The last year, what he did, you can't deny it. The numbers were there. The money's definitely going to be there, so somebody else is going to pay him. So I think the Vikings let him walk. Trying to figure out the Kirk Cousins situation as well.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to let him walk just because you're gonna have to pay Justin Jefferson as well. I think that's a big issue as well. And also they was reluctant to pay him a year ago when I thought he was still a top 10 edge rusher, in which he was. He had another dominant season this year. So, and they didn't want to pay him last year. So I think he walks, he goes somewhere who's gonna value him, who's gonna pay him the money that he deserves. And this is part of the issue with the Minnesota Vikings. They don't like to pay people, and that's been an issue for years. So he's most likely going to walk.
Yeah, I think same thing. I think he's going to walk himself because he's honestly said it himself. He came out and said he felt disrespected, as he should. I mean, the numbers he put up and y'all not trying to pay him. He's been putting up numbers that players like Hassan Reddick put up and got paid for it. And he's another one that I'm probably end up talking about. So, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta compensate for that. And they do have a lot of things that they got to figure out. The quarterback, they got to pay Justin Jefferson. Like we said, he's going to get a hefty check. So, yeah, their best bet is both of their best bets is to let him walk because they're not going to be able to pay him to. He's high demand. He's really high demand. Now, I got one that's in another trade talks, though. Justin Fields.
So with Justin Fields, definitely go. The Chicago Bears pretty much they had it up to here with Justin Fields. I mean, you've seen glimpses, you've seen flashes of Justin Fields. We haven't seen too much, in my opinion. We haven't seen too much great. I don't want to say it's 100% his fault though. Coaching has been bad. The talent around him hasn't been the best. I mean, you bring in DJ Moore this past year. He had a great year, but Justin Fields was kind of underwhelming as he has been his first 3 years in the league. So I'm not gonna lie. I think the best fit for him is go to Atlanta, back where he's from. He's from Kennesaw, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. So that would be pretty good for him. But I don't see the Bears bringing him back. They definitely gonna take Caleb Williams with the first overall pick.
Bro, you're tripping. They need to keep Justin Fields. Like, I don't know why.
Why would you keep him? You have a generational talent as a number one pick right
dude,
there. He's outright better than Justin Fields.
Bro, what success are you supposed to have?
Whoa.
Listen.
Don't do that.
Listen.
You're Ohio State.
Whoa.
You're Ohio State bias. Ohio State bias. Ohio State bias.
Whoa.
Khalil.
I don't care. It has nothing to do with
Khalil.
Ohio State.
Khalil.
This guy's not played one game in the NFL.
I'm ignoring him.
He's not better than Desmond Ridder right now, bro. What do you mean? He hasn't played one game in the NFL. It doesn't matter what he did in college, dog. It's the NFL we talking about.
Let's be real. Let's be real, though. Come on. Let's be
freaking
for real.
Let's be real for a second.
Okay.
Yes, they should 100% keep Justin Fields. Why? What do you expect from a guy who's had new head coaches, new offensive coordinators? He needs to be in a system for a minute. One, you need to take the time to build
on who can't block me.
You need to listen. We seen how bad the game plans was at the beginning of the season for the Bears. They was taking away his legs. They wasn't trying to allow him to run and all that other stuff. Look what happened later in the season after he came back from injury, and they started to, cater the offense to what he does best. We saw good things start to happen. So let's build on that. We seen the connection with DJ Moore start to, come about. Why tear that down? Why tear that apart now? Like you're just putting yourself back to square one. When there's not Justin Fields is not the only problem on this team. You still need offensive line help. You need a lot of other pieces. If I was them, I would trade the first round pick. Let's get some more picks. Let's draft one of these top tackles, and let's go from there. Let's get him another receiver. Like there's so much a premier running back, something. But I don't think trading him and drafting Caleb Williams. I don't think that's the answer. I'm sorry.
I agree with your logic for sure, but we know that's definitely not happening. They're gonna take Caleb with the number one pick. I agree with your logic. I said the same thing.
I'm gonna keep it a bean with y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. The dumbest thing they can do is take Caleb Williams with that first pick. That is the dumbest choice you could ever do in your life. Why would you do that? You have the opportunity for people that actually need a quarterback badly, way badly than you, way more badly than you, that's going to give their life up for that first pick to take Caleb Williams, who, again, he has not played a single game in the NFL. I'm not putting stock into that man, bro. I'm not. I am not. I don't care. I'm not, bro. You're going to draft Caleb Williams and give him the same exact thing that Justin Fields had, bro. You're going to give him the same thing, the same receivers, the same O-line that took the smallest step forward ever this year. And you're gonna expect Caleb Williams to be go ahead and do something that Justin Fields can't do. What can Caleb Williams do that Justin Fields can't do, bro? He doesn't run better than him.
Well, free agency hasn't started yet, so we don't know what.
Here's my thing as well. Here is my thing as well. Like
they have the most cap. They have one of the most cap space in the league.
So question. This upcoming season, you think you're better off suited? I'm talking not for the future, but this upcoming season, you're better suited for Justin Fields or Caleb Williams?
I'm gonna take Caleb Williams over Justin Fields. I'm very
for the 2024 season. For the 2024 season.
Yes, I'm taking Caleb Williams, bro. I'm being for real, bro.
Wow.
Justin Fields has been very underwhelming.
This is what I said. I personally think you're better off with Justin Fields in this upcoming season. Guess what? If you go drive Caleb Williams and you go through those growing pains and it's not that good of a season, guess what? Caleb Williams is going to be having a new head coach next year too. Guess what? We're back to square one again. So they need to actually build with somebody. Saying. Like it only makes sense to start to build with somebody, not tear it down and start to build up again. And then guess what? We're going to have a new head coach come next year and you play terrible. And they have to start all over again. It's just not going to be good for a quarterback.
But the fans want him. The fans want him. The players there want him. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why not trade that pick like Lil said? Go ahead and grab him another weapon or tackle or guard, Somebody that's
You could
worth
go get him
that offense that's gonna
another
make him
tackle and
better.
another weapon.
Exactly.
Listen. I see I see y'all logic because I was saying this before the draft too, way before the season even ended. I said the Bears need us to get a tackle. You could still build with Justin Fields, get a tackle and guard, also build other parts of your O line, and get
And you're
receive
probably
as
going to get
well.
like 3 ones.
But we know they're not gonna do that. We know they're gonna probably take Caleb Williams with the first overall pick. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. But also as well, Justin Fields has been very, very underwhelming. He has been. He's a great runner, but passing mechanics and decision making as a quarterback has not been the greatest. He's still very young. He still has time to figure it out. But it's just not in Chicago. I'm sorry, it's not in Chicago.
And that's why Chicago's going to stay bad.
That's on them.
Next on this list, Antoine Winfield.
If the Bucs can find a way to figure out Baker Mayfield's contract situation, because they're already letting Levante David walk. They're probably gonna let Devin White walk as well.
Shaq Barrett go.
Oh yeah, they just released Shaq Barrett. Thank you for helping me out. And they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do at quarterback with Baker Mayfield. I mean, they just paid Mike Evans 2 years for $52 million. Mike Evans is still, in my opinion, top 10 receiver. Every year he gets $1K. He's 3 guarantees his life. Like I said, death, taxes, and Mike Evans getting 1,000 yards. But if Antoine wants good money, he's better off walking to a team that needs a safety. So I think the Bucs let him walk. I mean, it's disappointing to see. I told y'all Antoine Winfield this past year was going to be a top 10 safety in our preseason rankings, and he has played at that level. So I think the Bucs.
Howie, go ahead and go get that man, Howie. Go ahead and go get that man, Howie.
I think they should find a way to keep him. He was an All-Pro this year, if I'm not mistaken, rightfully so. He had his best season yet. He's becoming one of the top safeties in the league. I think he's pretty solid. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't see the reason to let them walk. The thing is, you do have to figure out the Baker Mayfield contract. Baker Mayfield, I heard a report that said he's not giving out discounts, so you're gonna have to figure out something with Derek Baker going to want his money, and I don't blame him. Get your money. That's why I say for every player, get your money. So, but I think he should stay. I think Tampa should find a way to bring him back if they know it's good for him, even though they're not winning the division next year. But anyway.
After you let go a couple of your linebackers, I really feel like I should try to find a way to keep him. He's a pretty good talent. Don't get me wrong. He's one of them good safeties in the league. I definitely think he's a pretty low on the top 10, but I still think he's a top 10 safety. He's actually played real good football last year. So I think they definitely need to find a way to keep him because the safety market is pretty low right now. It's not like the safety market is high. So it's not like you're going to have to really put a dent in your pockets to keep him. So why not keep this guy and stop him from going somewhere like the Eagles? I got Brian Burns.
He's up out of Carolina. If I'm Brian Burns, one of the best pass rushers in the league, I'm getting the hell out of Carolina. We saw the disaster the Panthers has been the last handful of years. You see, they mistakenly got, not even going to say mistakenly, they stupidly got rid of Christian McCaffrey to let him go to the 49ers in trade talks. That was crazy. If I'm Brian Burns, I'm getting out of Carolina. I'm going to a winning organization that needs a pass rusher. There's hello teams that need a pass rusher. Go get your money, Mr. Burns. Let him walk.
I mean, he's already gone. They already stopped contract negotiations. Panthers already cut ties with the contract talk, so he's gone already.
Oh, yeah, he's gone? I didn't even know that. I thought he was still took. But, all right, well, Jerry Jeudy.
Another player that's been very, very underwhelming, in my opinion, just like Justin Fields. Underwhelming. Jerry Jeudy coming out of college, I thought he was a top 3 receiver in that draft class. Well, he's looking like he's probably not even a top 5, top 10 receiver in that draft class. He's very, very underwhelming, very disappointing. Now, we know Russell Wilson has not been the best quarterback for the Denver Broncos. We've seen all his quarterbacks. Okay, we've seen all his quarterbacks that Jerry Jeudy has played with, but Jerry Jeudy himself has been extremely underwhelming. The drops, the bad effort. I mean, his attitude is very, very poor. In my opinion, he's supposed to be wide receiver 1, but hey, Cortland Sutton was wide receiver 1. You've got KJ Hamler as well. He was been out and injured as well. He can't get a step. So what honestly is going on in Denver? I don't know. But in my opinion, Jerry Jeudy, I don't think he's going to get too much money anywhere else. He definitely still has time to develop. He's in his young 20s. I think he's all young or mid-20s. Yeah, he's in his young 20s, so he has time to develop. But I think the Broncos let him go as well.
Yeah, the Broncos should trade him. He's not really that much. He's really not that valuable to me. He's never eclipsed 70 catches, nor ever eclipsed 1,000 receiving yards. So he's not what he was supposed to be, given that he was a Biletnikoff winner in college and had all this hype around him. So they should trade him. I think at maybe best, you could get a third for him, but that's being ideal. Some team desperate and think they could see something in him that probably is or isn't there. But you should just trade him. I don't see no reason for him. Let's start the rebuild process at this point.
I'm honestly with both of y'all, man. Y'all already know when you start the rebuild process, you got to get rid of some folks. And I feel like Jerry Jeudy is one of them. Not that he was a cancer or anything like that, but I just feel like it's time to move on off of him. I think third round at best. That's what you're gonna get for him at best.
What he's worth.
And that's the thing. Like, it's kind of like it's a toss up. Like, what would you rather get, a fourth round pick, or have to pay the guy like $9 million for 1 year if you sign him again?
I think it's somewhere around there.
I'm not gonna lie. You can also find this man's replacement in the draft. This is a loaded receiver.
This draft is loaded.
That's what I'm saying. They can find a replacement. This receiver class
it's a lot of receivers in this draft. It's a lot of receivers in this
Denver
draft.
can definitely find his replacement. Let him walk, man.
And I think they will. So yeah, let him walk. And my last one for this topic is gonna be Odell Beckham Jr.
Not gonna lie. I feel like once Odell left the Rams, even before that, I feel like he should have stayed with the Rams. They need receiver help. Yes, they got Puka. Puka emerged. He's going crazy. Cooper Kupp. He's still Cooper Kupp. He's still top 10 in my opinion. Don't care what none of y'all say. But we seen Odell go spurt at the end of the year this past year. Let him walk. Let him go to another contending team. Unless you want to stay in Baltimore and keep working with Lamar Jackson and that crew over there. Because, I mean, he's a great leader in the locker room, apparently. He loves working with Lamar. And Baltimore, they have a chance to win something. But they got to get past Big Red and Pat Mahomes and KC. So, if I'm Odell, I'm out there. I'm trying to test the market and see who else could pay me. But if you want to win or a chance to win, stay with Baltimore. So, I'm going to say, for Odell, I'm going to say walk.
He should stay. He should stay right where he's at. And continue to build on what they built on this past season with Zay Flowers, and they got Nelson Aguilar, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. Keep that same guy, keep that same core together. You got Todd Monken back for a second year. Let's continue to build what we started on and make another run at this thing. So I think what's best for him at this point is just to stay, take a little bit less money because $15 million is not going to cut it this year. But I think he'd be a very solid number 2 option to Zay Flowers, who's started to come into his own late last season. So I think he should stay.
I'm right with you, Lil. I think he should stay, but I'm right with both of you. I really do think he should test the waters in that market real quick, and not to really see about pay, because I'm gonna be honest, nobody's paying you, bro. And I feel like I think he knows that he's not gonna get paid what he wants to get paid. Usually, it's not gonna happen. You didn't produce enough last year. You didn't produce enough even the year before then. Even that you went and won a Super Bowl, no, not before then, the year before that. But even though you went and won a Super Bowl, you still didn't, it's not like you was the best receiver on the field. So with that being said, I feel like he should stay. It's best for him. It's best for the organization. They get a receiver that's still serviceable, but is going to be a serviceable veteran with a ring that's on the lighter end of a pay raise. And he's going to stay somewhere where he started building the chemistry with him and not having to bounce around. I think that's his best choice at staying. Unless the Kansas City Chiefs come knocking. I'm going to be honest with you. The Kansas City Chiefs come knocking, he better go. Boy, he better go. Go ahead and get yourself a ring with Pat.
Best chance to win. I'm
go
saying
ahead
go
and
to a
get
contender.
yourself a ring with Pat. It's either them or I don't know about playing for Shanahan, but regular season to be fun playing for Shanahan.
Not postseason. But ladies and gentlemen, give us your thoughts and opinions about that topic. Free agency. Let us know the names that Dennis listed, whether they should stay or go in free agency. If go, give us your thoughts and opinions about what team you think they're going to go to. That's a very big list he just read out, so we want to hear it in the comment section below. All right, moving into the last topic of the night. The NFL Combine was this past weekend. It was very recent. It was very impressive to watch. Let's have a group discussion about it. Let's talk about the NFL Combine fallout.
I'm not gonna lie. I always say that the Combine is one of the biggest mockeries when it comes to the NFL in general, because anything that you determine how good players are without equipment on is kind of a joke to me. But I'm not gonna lie, it's certain things there that I look for. It's certain things there that I look for, and I feel like would stand out amongst others. And I got a couple names too. First, I'm gonna bring up Rutgers cornerback Max Melton. Max Melton came in there looking like a third day guy, and I feel like he's another one with great footwork and I mean a pretty solid 40, ran in the 4.3s. He had the top broad jump out the day, which I don't know if y'all know what broad jump measures, but it's power. And so it shows that that's a guy who's probably not going to get bullied around, even though he's not the biggest, but I don't think he's going to be a guy that's going to get bullied in the league. I think he's one that jumped himself up into the top 60 players, if you ask me. And I can see him getting drafted on day 2.
I think for me, one of the biggest risers this combine is the receiver out of Florida, Ricky Pearsall. I think that's how you say his name. Ricky
Pearsall. I think it's Pearsall. Pearsall.
He was a guy that was somewhat productive at Florida. He grown over the time, but he showed that he has very good change of direction at the combine. He shows that he can move in and out his breaks. I think he's going to be a smooth wide receiver. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be that can play 10 years in the NFL and give you solid production. I think his draft stock rose a little bit given how deep the receiver class is. I think he was one of those guys that wasn't talked about that we're going to start to have a discussion about, with these top receivers.
Definitely like what I've seen from the offensive line this past week in the combine. Let's start off with Amarius Mims. The man's 340 pounds and ran a 4.33 shuttle. Also, he did really great, but he tweaked his hamstring on the 40-yard dash, but the rest of his combine was really great. I like watching him. Spencer Rattler was kind of disappointed at the combine. I think he definitely ranked low between all the quarterbacks in the draft. And Spencer Rattler, I'm not gonna lie, this past year was his best career at South Carolina, let alone in his whole collegiate career. But combine was pretty disappointing. All the receivers in the combine, this stack, like we all said, this receiver class is loaded. So you can get your receiver anytime you want. We already know Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison didn't work out at the combine, but those guys are definitely first-round locks. Roma Dunze, Lad McConkey, those guys are good as well.
Lad McConkey looked great.
Lad McConkey is another one who stock rolls up, I feel like.
For sure.
Lad McConkey looked great. Another
Thomas
one, I like Jalen Wright, the running back from Tennessee, definitely boosted his stock there. He ran a good 4.33. That was a good one from a running back. I'm sorry, but 40 times mean a lot for me from running backs. I don't really think they mean a lot for receivers as much as they mean for running backs. I'm going to be honest with you because you're never at receiver unless you're running a go. You're never running 40 yards full speed. It's not happening. If you're running anything other, if you're running a post, it's at 75 until you break, and then you go. If you're running a dig, 15 yards, 20 yards, don't matter. It's not 40. Running backs, after the first 10 yards, they're putting it on.
Turn the burners on.
That's when that 40 yards really matter. And Jalen Wright showed that he's going to have some great breakaway speed. He was one of the top running backs there as far as numbers-wise goes. Come on, Xavier Worthy, we got to bring him up at least once, man. We got to bring that up at least once. He was moving. 4.21, bro.
4.21. Like, hey, we all said in our group chat, hey, we knew he was fast, but we knew he was that fast.
Yeah, bro. I did not know he was record-breaking fast, though. Like, I knew he had burners, but I didn't think he was record-breaking fast.
What y'all think about Chop Robinson, though, from Penn State?
Chop Robinson
looked good.
Is insane. I mean, his stock was already pretty high. I think he already had a late first round grade on him. I think that's exactly who he's going to be. Explosive. But I like Chop Robinson, like running 4.49. I really don't care about. I really care about what you do in your first 10. If you're playing offensive line, defensive line, what does that first 10 split look like? So, but that was a good, 40 for Chop Robinson. He could probably be one of those guys that could be a linebacker, Micah Parsons type. So you can see it.
Dallas Turner went from top 10 to top 5 to me. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Like
Dallas Turner looked great.
I think he stays within that top 10, though. I think
that man is a freak, dog.
He's a freak.
You crazy?
He's definitely a freak.
Like, he's a freak of nature. I'm gonna bring on one person that y'all probably don't know. Actually, I said to him in the chat, man. Dylan Lowby. he's probably gonna get drafted late. I didn't think he would get drafted at all out of an FCS school, but he's another running back that I feel like will be serviceable in the league. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like he'll be serviceable. I don't feel like he's gonna come out and be like one of those great guys, but I really think when he went to the combine, he showed that he's a draftable back, and he moved himself into the draft. If you ask me, not everybody gets drafted, whether you go to that combine or not. Not everybody from the combine gets drafted. There is some that get snubbed. Unfortunately, some of them are FCS players that get snubbed that actually get a chance to go there. But I feel like he was one that came and showed that he could probably bowl in NFL and he's worth a draft pick. I'm be honest.
I'm gonna just say this though. To me, honestly, combine really shouldn't move the needle too much, left or right. In my opinion, it should just confirm what you see on tape. I think the tape is what really matters at the end of the day. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't matter who you are, like offensive line, bench pressing, or running back 40 time, whatever it is. Like when I turn on the tape, do you play fast? Do you move guys? That's what I want to see. And I think what it is, scouts and some of these front office people put way too much stock in this combine. We've seen it with some of these guys. They move them so much up because they test it well, whatever the case may be. But when you look at the film, they don't play as explosive as they looked at the combine. And you got guys who doesn't test as well, but they play explosive, and that shouldn't deter you away from drafting them, in my opinion.
DK Metcalf was projected a 4th round to the combine.
That's a fact.
I'm gonna be honest. I said it before this started, bro. Yes, it's a mockery to me. I feel like anything that you judging players without equipment on is bogus. I really feel like the Senior Bowl means so much more to recruitment and getting into the NFL than the combine does. 100%. But there is players out there that will move the needle with that combine, bro.
But we saw the Senior Bowl MVP, Spencer Rattler. He wasn't MVP for the Senior Bowl, but he looked bad at the combine. A lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah, he did. He didn't look too good.
He was one of the
bottom
JJ
McCarthy. JJ McCarthy didn't look good either.
I never thought JJ McCarthy was good. Only one person
here
think he's good.
I'm an Ohio State fan, and I think that JJ McCarthy has talent. I think he does have talent. I feel like he just was on a team
he does
that
have
didn't need his talent.
He does, but he's not that great, bro. I'm sorry. He's not
bro, he was on a team that didn't need him to be talented, bro. That team would win with me at quarterback. So
basically he's another Brock Purdy.
No, he's better than Brock Purdy. He's better than Brock Purdy.
Here we go. I done stirred it. See?
He's not better than Brock Purdy. No, he's not.
I stirred it up from the bottom of the pot.
He's not better than Brock Purdy, bro. Don't say no BS like that, bro.
Don't act like JJ McCarthy.
Y'all know, bro. Y'all know I'm done with the Purdy slander, bro. Stop it.
I'm just asking a question.
Stop it, bro. He's not better than Brock Purdy, bro. Stop. Come on. Like,
I'm just asking.
Come on, bro. I do feel like he's talented, though, bro. I do feel like he's talented. I feel like he has the arm strength. I feel like he has the accuracy to do it. But he was on a team that didn't need him to do that.
So Brock Purdy.
No,
he has a higher ceiling. He's a better passer coming out of college than Brock Purdy.
He has a higher ceiling than Brock Purdy, 100%. He definitely has a higher ceiling. I'm not saying he's better than him. Damn it, no, not yet. At least, but I do feel like he has a way higher.
His ceiling is higher than Brock Purdy.
His ceiling's higher.
His
ceiling is higher.
His ceiling's definitely higher.
He's more athletic.
He has to be a way better player.
He does.
To be a way better player.
He does. I was just asking. I had to ask the Brock Purdy fan here. I had to ask right quick. My bad, man. Feel me?
I like Brock Purdy, dog. I ain't a Brock Purdy fan, though. I just don't appreciate the slander from a guy that made it to the Super Bowl. I don't. That's just like slandering freaking Jalen Hurts. Like I don't appreciate it.
He overrated now. Apparently, Jalen Hurts is overrated.
All the slander he got.
Yeah, everybody's saying Jalen Hurts is overrated.
That's like saying after Nick Foles won a Super Bowl, we shouldn't still slander him. Look what happened. He got that contract and ain't do shit since.
He definitely robbed the Jags.
He robbed the Jags. Bro. He robbed Jacksonville.
So I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, give us your thoughts and opinions about the NFL Combine this past weekend. Let us know who you got to think were impressive and who you got to think that was not impressive. We want to hear all that in comment section below. And we know what's next after the Combine, the NFL Draft. So like Dino said, hey, we also want to hear your thoughts and opinions about the Combine. Should our owners actually praising and glorifying it too much? Or should they ease back and just take players based off what they see on film? I also want to hear that opinion. I also want to hear your thoughts and opinions about that statement. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for tonight. Episode 49 of Before the Horn podcast. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you guys repost and share this video as well. We appreciate the feedback. Thank y'all for their platform you are supporting us on, whatever you guys watching or listening. We can't thank y'all more than enough.
As y'all know, y'all can do y'all part in supporting us by joining our Patreon, man. That's the best way to do that. That's the best way to support us. Like I say all the time, man, we are regular guys that work regular 9 to 5, and we just come and bring this content to y'all because it's something that we love to do, something that we love to talk about, as well as helping us. You also get perks yourself. You get perks into our personal lives. You feel me? We're gonna be talking to y'all personally. You can actually talk, argue, chat, whatever you want to call it. You can do that personally with us, as well as certain gimmies as far as discounts on merch, free merch, anything that you guys need. Patreon is gonna have that. Come on, support us there. But we appreciate any bit of support that we get.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We appreciate. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Before the Horn Podcast, TikTok, and Twitter at Before the Horn Pod. You know, we appreciate all the love and support we've been getting lately. Make sure you share this to your closest friends, family, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, if you want to come on here and you want to talk your talk with us, hit us up. You know, we're open. We're open. We always love to have guests on. If you're willing to talk, you better be able to talk your talk. That's all I'll say. But, you know, other than that, keep liking, keep commenting, keep sharing, keep subscribing. We appreciate it.
Again, like, comment, share, subscribe. Just like we all said, thank y'all for supporting us. Episode 49 of Before the Horn Podcast. We shall see you guys on Friday. Peace.